Okay, number 2 on my list of why these are not just a gimmick. So very often you don't want to just ask students recall questions. In fact, it's often quicker to have some on paper where they can just answer them directly. But you will often need to extend their thinking. Now, here they're super useful because you will probably have a classroom where students are sitting in pairs, and therefore you need to ask your harder questions for students to support each other in the pair. So, find me a quotation in which Romeo proves his immaturity. 20 seconds in your pairs, go. Now obviously you're not setting that up where they can look anywhere in the text, you're looking at a particular part here, so it's achievable in 20 seconds. You differentiate it because they're answering in their pair. They are now accountable in their pair, but even better, when you start sampling the class, you're sampling 2 students at a time, and so you can get round more people to make sure they're paying attention. This has a really powerful impact on their desire to pay attention, because they can no longer have the interior monologue which says this is hard, I can opt out, and they can't have the interior monologue which says I will look cool if I ignore the teacher and opt out. Why? Because they have a partner. So there's no justification for saying I couldn't do it, sir. The other great thing about it is the partner will genuinely help. And similarly, when you call out for the answer, that student then has no reason to give you a wrong answer. Sorry, to give you no answer. It also changes the culture in your room, because you have asked a question which you don't know the students can do. Therefore, it is entirely acceptable for them to give you a wrong answer. Now that is a really, really powerful dynamic in your classroom, because as soon as students feel safe to give a wrong answer, they no longer need to misbehave to mask that fear. And that gets rid of 5 or 6 students perhaps in your class who would otherwise disengage or worse, play up in order to disguise the fact that they don't know the answer. So I often say to my students, look, I need you to make a mistake because I don't earn my money until I find out what you can't do. And it's only when I know what you can't do that I can improve you. And this is a beautiful way to make sure that I constantly find out what you don't know and try to improve you. And that is a fabulous behaviour technique, because the student no longer feels the need to mask their lack of knowledge. And they're not as exposed in that lack of knowledge because they have the partner, they have the pair to support them. So that is a really powerful way to make visible that you are making them think. Thank you.